Well, happy Sunday. I have a strange update today. I'm just coming off one of the scariest and weirdest weeks of my life. Well, of my post-stroke life. So, I rarely share things like this with you guys, mainly because you have the luck, or to quote Nathan R. Jessup, you have the luxury of not knowing what I know. And that is that virtually every single day I live on the edge of just fucking disaster. But I mean, I could be reaching up in a cabinet to grab a spice or something, and if I forget for a split second to look at my feet and make sure they're in proper alignment before I bring myself back, my feet could be all out of alignment and I could fall and hit the floor. Because of course I don't feel my left side, so I don't know where things are, so I have to look at them. So I mean, that kind of crap happens every single day. And I've just come to accept the fact that that's my life, and if I screw up once, it could be disastrous. But anyway, Monday of last week, this is different. Monday of last week, I was getting ready to close one of these windows, and I reached up to pull the window down, and of course I was sitting in my chair, so I reached up as high as I could, pull the window down, and I got to about right here, and I heard a pop in my shoulder. Now that in and of itself is not unusual. I hear weird pops in my right arm and shoulder all the time because since I only have the use of one arm, I'm working at all kinds of different angles and stuff, very unusual angles. So it frequently joints will pop or tendons will pop or whatever. But so anyway, I didn't think much of it. I got the window closed, whatever, went on my way. Tuesday morning, I'm standing in the kitchen by my microwave, getting ready to make my oatmeal. Pulled it out of the microwave, was reaching up in the cabinet to grab my bag of craisins, which I like with my oatmeal. That's a good little food tip, by the way. But anyway, I got my arm to about here, and then I knew something was wrong. My first clue that something was wrong was I felt every muscle on my left side and abdominal region like flexing. And I'm like, that's unusual. It's what my body was doing was compensating for the fact that I couldn't lift my right arm up. And this was all very weird to me, but I finally pushed it up, felt all this weirdness, grabbed the craisins. As soon as I grabbed them, tried to pull them down, realized I had absolutely zero strength in this arm. So of course, I just dropped, and the craisins crashed, landed on my oatmeal. Oatmeal splashed everywhere, all over the floor, all over my clothes, all over my shoes. Oh, definitely some F words were thrown around. So I'm like, what the hell? I didn't really care about the oatmeal. I was kind of worried about what was going on with my arm. So as the day progressed, I realized very quickly that I could not lift my arm. I could not, if my arm was extended, I couldn't lift it at all, let alone above my shoulder. So first of all, I tend to go to worst case scenarios. I'm like, well, shit, I've only got one arm that works, and now this one doesn't even work. So, I mean, it only works if it's hanging down. So, immediately, how am I going to make coffee? How am I going to get a glass of water? How am I going to do all this stuff? Anyway, you just kind of figure it out. It's a pain in the ass, but I just start having to stand up to do everything. Park my chair, lock both sides of the brakes, move the footstep out of the way, stand up, do whatever I'm going to do, which, it's not a big deal. It's probably better because the human body isn't designed, to work like this all the time. So if I try to cook while I'm sitting, try to stir a pot, you can't lift your arm. It's not designed to do that. So, I don't know. Long story short, it was a hell week. So, basically every morning I was taking some Advil. Even though I had no pain, I was thinking I probably had some swelling or some tendonitis or something. So I was just taking some Advil and just saying, well, I just won't lift my arm above my shoulder. I'll just keep it down here and just work around whatever I need to work around, and hopefully it gets better. Well, it kind of did, but how am I supposed to wash my underarm, or how am I supposed to get deodorant under here if I can't lift my arm up? So eventually, you know, like everything else, I just figured out that I just have to move differently than I'm used to. So if I needed to get my arm above my head, I just have to start the motion here where it's not, you know, the arm is tucked in, and then I can lift it up and then bring it down. So, you know, I mean, I figured out a workaround for everything in my life, but this was scary. Anyway, compounding all this was, as you guys have known, the Botox. My last 2 treatments of Botox have worked absolutely zero, like zero effect. And so one of the things that happens when you're under stress, or when I'm under stress, my left hand, it wants to close all the time. And that's a whole nother video why that does that. But when I'm stressed or freaked out, my hand closes tighter, and making things worse, my left toes curl. So I can't stand without pain. You know, you can't stand when your toes are curled under your foot like that. So it was just awful. But anyway, made it through the week, almost canceled my personal training appointment yesterday, but no, I needed to get out of this place. I needed to go for a long walk, even though I knew it was going to hurt my foot. But I got my walk in outside. It was great. Anyway, I don't even really know why I'm sharing this with you guys, because there's nothing you can do. All you're going to do is worry, especially there's one person in the Prineville area that I know is going to worry, but it doesn't do any good to share this kind of stuff because there's nothing anyone can do. Whatever suggestions you have probably aren't correct, because my situation is unique, and I don't know. I just don't, it doesn't do any good to worry people, because like I said, if I told you all this shit that goes on around here on a daily basis, you guys would all be worried. I mean, you know, one time I went to reach for a pillow, fell out of my bed, broke my left shoulder. That's the worst that's happened so far. But anyway, I have no idea why I'm sharing this. I'm just rambling. Anyway, happy Sunday. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll have a better video in a couple days, I promise. See you later. Bye.